Welcome back, everyone. This is Running Vegas podcast, where we talk local sports, business, and real estate. If you like what you hear today, please give us a follow, subscribe, drop some feedback in the comments. We'd really appreciate it. I'm your host for today, Rodrigo, and we actually have a very special guest today. Good friend of mine, also a MAC team member, real estate agent here in Nevada, and UNLV alumni, Travis Najbicz.
Yeah, thanks, Rod. Appreciate you having me on.
Of course, man. I'm glad you're here. And did I get your last name correct?
Yeah, you did. I'm stuck with it for life, so I appreciate you pronouncing that correctly.
Of course, man. I'm sure you're used to it. Some people kind of messing it up at times.
Yeah, it happens.
Where's that last name from?
From Poland originally.
Poland,
yeah,
wow.
My grandfather's side, so yeah.
Awesome, man.
Polish.
Great to have you. Today, we'll dive into some local sports here to catch up on what's been going on, especially with the Running Rebels, the basketball team. It's been very exciting, very fun to watch here lately. And as we approach the end of the season, too, it's going to get really interesting for the Mountain West Conference. So UNLV, just a quick recap, UNLV has won 8 of the last 9 games. Our last loss came to UNR, our rival, to Reno. That was about 2 Saturdays ago. It seemed like UNLV, the Running Rebels, gained that momentum after that loss. They learned a lot because now, man, they're a complete different team. They're having fun. They're utilizing each other. So it's been great to watch. We did beat Colorado State, which is ranked 22. That was last Saturday. That was a great home game here at Thomas and Mack. So that we've been racking up some really good wins against, top 25 contenders here. We got that Creighton win at the last year in December. We beat University of New Mexico, which is also ranked, and then this last Colorado State, which all have been ranked. Our last game this week was this past Tuesday. It was against Wyoming. It was on the road. It went to overtime. It was a thriller. And of course, we came out with the W, came out with the win. Very, very fun to watch. They are a little bit of a late games, but very, very fun to watch. Right now, we're standing 5th in the conference, and in the Mountain West, the top 5 teams get the buy-in into the conference tourney. So as long as we remain where we are, we should be in a good position. 3 more games left in the season. Some very, very tough games coming up. This weekend, this Saturday, we'll be hosting San Jose State here in the Thomas and Mack. Please come out if you have some time. It will be great to support. After that, we have San Diego State University. They're ranked 20th right now. So if we can come out with that win, when we come out with that win, actually, we will be in even a better position. And our final game will be on the road. It'll be in Reno against University of Reno, our rival again. So it'll give us an opportunity to, get even with them. Running Rebels, and shout out to the Lady Rebels, the lady basketball team as well. They've combined a 16-1 record of their last 17 games. I believe the only loss came to UNR. So overall, we're doing very, very well. So very happy for that. Now, want to dive into Travis, and let's talk a little bit of business, a little bit of real estate.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Appreciate the update as well, and I know the Rebels are doing well, whether it's Lady Rebels or the Running Rebs.
Yeah.
They are doing extremely well, and it's great to see the sports scene picking up locally for Vegas. So
For sure. And you graduated from UNLV, correct? What year was that?
yeah, that was in 2018.
2018. Okay,
Yeah.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, I know the focus a lot has been on basketball lately, but they actually just released the football schedule for next season, and it's looking very exciting. Our football team is looking very strong, so I'm also excited for that. We have a lot of stuff coming in.
Yeah, solid
Yeah.
season this year too, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're just hoping to build on that local sports, being able to recruit right from somebody like the Raiders, whether it's hockey, whether it's football. They got a great basis now at UNLV for both basketball and even and football too, right? So
Yeah, you're right. There's just so much going on in town now that, I feel like we can get better prospects, better athletes, better students coming in. And yes, the city grows, more and more. We'll get more attention. So that's
Exactly.
fun. So Travis, tell me a little bit about yourself. When did you move to Vegas? Where are you originally from? I know you have a lot of interesting background, so please.
Yeah. So I'm originally from South Africa, moved to Vegas in 2008 due to my father's occupation in the hospitality industry, of course.
Okay.
Being the entertainment capital of the world, this was the right place to move to. So graduated from Bishop Gorman, went to UNLV, had got a Bachelor's of Science degree there in hospitality management, and so got a really good and solid customer service background. Very proud to have gone and graduated from UNLV, and then had the opportunity to jump into real estate. So, but always been a sports fan, sports fanatic, and of course between lacrosse, football, basketball, baseball, anything, certainly is part of my realm of entertainment in Vegas.
Nice. Yeah, that's very interesting background, man. And hospitality, I come from the same background: restaurants, bars, casinos. So I could usually tell when somebody comes from the hospitality background, well, customer service is always our priority, right? So that's awesome. So you graduated from Bishop Gorman, huh?
I did. I always get some, I don't know, dirty looks or sounds if people know that I went there. But I'm proud to have come from Bishop Gorman, at least graduated from there. They got a great sports curriculum, and that's what I was mainly involved in. That's why I initially went to that school. So
Okay.
But yeah, coming from Bishop Gorman, and of course it's right down the road from where we're at now.
Right. And I am giving you some dirty looks as I brought that up. I graduated from Spring Valley High School out here in Las Vegas. So played soccer all my high school career, and Bishop Gorman was always, I would call him my rival because that was best game of the season every time. So no, but you guys, yeah, they have an amazing system set up. It's an amazing school. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
and of course Spring Valley being big rivals too. So
Yeah.
we didn't win all the time, which people think we do, but we don't. We have to lose sometimes to get better, right?
Right. In my eyes, you guys did win all the time, but hey, we'll get past that. And so Travis, I am curious, man. Like, so what made you transition from hospitality, getting a degree, spending time in college, going after that major, and transition into real estate? How did that come about?
Yeah, great question. So I had the opportunity to get into real estate in 2021, beginning of 2021.
Okay.
Always wanted to get into it and jump into it, and I felt like, hey, this was the time. I'm going to obviously study the material, pass the test, and just being able to get into the industry, really understood and took an interest in not just in the fact that I want to be a real estate agent, but understand the process of buying and selling a home, which I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
But it really is, the knowledge that I've grasped over the last couple of years, and still green to the business overall. But that was my first interest. I want to understand the process. I want to understand what everybody, is buying and selling is going through on a daily basis, because there's so much business happening.
Yeah.
And now for such a key transition and such a, I suppose, expensive transaction overall that people are going to go through for their lifetime at a minimum once, I want to kind of be a part of that and just have a lot better grasp on how that process worked.
Got you. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's real estate transactions are a huge emotional roller coaster ride, for owners and buyers. So it's important to be part of that. It's actually very humbling to be part of that, right? So that's awesome to hear, man. So let me ask you a little bit about the licensing, and I know you mentioned passing the test. How was that? Because I know a lot of folks tend to say some, lean some way about the test, lean the other way about the test. How did it, how was it for you?
It was probably not what I expected getting into it. A lot of general information overall, but you really had to be thorough in that information and understanding specific parts of it. There's a lot of stuff in it that you don't necessarily use on a daily basis, but it's what you need to understand to pass that test. And then afterwards, I was, I pretty much studied my behind off to make sure that I had passed it the first time, and making sure that I didn't have to do it again. And now getting into it as soon as possible, because I knew what the market was doing. and becoming more familiar with it, I knew that in 2021 was still kind of that cool down market, a strong one, but coming down from COVID was still the opportunity to find business as quickly as possible. So took the shot. I studied really, really hard, probably for about a month and a half or so, and then got my license. And the plan is still to get my broker sales license too.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear. I know a lot of people, a lot of folks, they get very excited, but the test can be very complex at the same time. For me, yeah, it was definitely not what I was expecting as well.
Yeah.
So Travis, prior getting into real estate, I'm sure, when you were telling people, hey, I'm working on getting my license, I'm studying, I'm sure plenty of people had plenty to say about what they thought about the market. So what was some of the perception you were getting about the real estate business prior to getting licensed and then after getting licensed?
You get a mix of opinions. I feel like the majority of the opinions came from people who aren't licensed and aren't in the business. So I looked for that opinion by those that are seasoned agents.
Okay.
And getting it beforehand, by no means did I get into it because I thought it was going to be easy. I had an honest interest. I still do on a daily basis to make sure I find good prospects, people that need help now. Not everybody's looking for the help or particular character or yourself. Everybody has a particular interest or at least a personality that they look for. But my perception beforehand was not that it was going to be easy, not because of the money, not because of that doesn't come easily too, right?
Definitely
like you said, it's emotional. So, and now getting into it, it really is about hard work, dedication, discipline. We always hear these words in real estate about being consistent on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Unless somehow you have 100 people that are going to be put into your system and know that you're going to get at least a minimal, maybe one deal a month out of, which is highly unlikely, you're going to spend at least the first 6 to 8 months grinding away trying to build that business. So it's a different story once you get into it, but I think it shows character when you decide to stick with it for multiple years.
Yeah, for sure, right? There's a lot of background noise into what other people think about real estate and their thoughts and their concerns. And, a lot of people just think we just make money very easily.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. It takes a lot of dedication, discipline. You have to wake up positive every single day, right? So there's a lot of things going on with the market. So that's good. That's some good feedback. I appreciate that. So Travis, I know when you first got into the business, you were a solo agent, right? You were trying to do it on your own, and now you've joined the John McNamara team, the MAC team.
Yeah.
Been very blessed to work by your side for the last about 2 years now.
Exactly.
I've seen Travis grown so much since I met him. His dedication, you inspire me to get in the office and work harder. So I have really appreciated your time together.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been the same.
It certainly has. Learned a lot. Like I said, still new to the business and still continuing to learn every day how to better myself, how to better, speaking to prospects over the phone really is a learning curve. I don't believe that anybody's necessarily born with the sales skill. Yeah. But you certainly need to learn that skill in being able to understand emotions, being able to understand what that prospect or that client wants for the best. This transaction, this entire business is never about you. It's always about them. Right. So if you can see what that next step is for them and how they can get there. And some people are a little bit nervous, of course, about anything real estate because they've never been through the transaction or maybe not asked enough questions, but that's what we're here for, right? We're asking those prospects questions. And I didn't know enough when I got into to real estate myself. Probably spent a little over a year in it by myself. Okay. Had a couple clients, buy or sell a couple homes, and it was a really good learning curve. My first couple of deals because I did work extremely hard with them, making sure that I earned that business, earned that relationship. These are relationships for life.
Right.
And so I just wanted to make sure that I had learned more from that, knowing that I could become more productive with a team because I'm hopefully shortening my learning curve from you guys, from John, from George, and just being able to teach me these little bits and pick up on items that I can get better at a little sooner rather than going through all the mistakes or learning curves, if you will. That's why I decided to join a team from being a solo agent. And I would recommend it to anybody getting into the business too.
Yeah. Okay. That's great to hear. And shout out to our fierce leader, John McNamara. He can't be here today, but we're excited to take over for him. And yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to dive in more. So you've experienced, being on your own and kind of managing transactions, deals, buyers, sellers on your own. And yeah, it could be very low, very high at times, right? I'd like to hear more, now that you've been on the team for a little close to 2 years now. What do you think you appreciate the most about being with a group of people, and the accountability compared to just because I've done it alone too, and it was not easy for me. It was very hard. Accountability went out the window. It was very hard to continue doing the things that move the needle in the business, right? So tell me a little bit more. What have you enjoyed about the team the most?
Yeah, so certainly, like you mentioned, accountability, we always hear that. It really is about being disciplined and having others that are going to rely on you, right? It's not just relying on you to get to a team goal at the end of the year, but each and every day is making sure that you're doing what is productive. As a solo agent or getting into myself, not knowing a lot, needing to understand how the business was going to work, or at least how it would become more productive, you end up spending too much time on your one or two transactions as right now, and you tend to forget about, hey, where's that next person that I've got to help, the next, find that next. And John always says it, you guys always say it too, but just being able to make sure that you're not taking the focus off of generating new business while you are currently managing transactions.
Handling it. Yeah.
And that transition into a team really does help with, transaction coordinator being brought in. How to do the paperwork. You understand that, but at least you can pass off that bit of it and continue to help generate new business for yourself, for the team. And we always have goals, right? We want to make sure that at the beginning of the year, per each individual agent that is in the team, and now moving towards the end of the year, we can all stay on the same page, hold each other accountable,
Right.
Be in the office every day. If you're disciplined enough to be at home and make the calls, talk to people, great. That's, I think, very kind of far and few in between people that can actually be disciplined at home. But being in the office is productive to me. And that's why I decided to make sure that I took the move. I did want to make sure I explore my options with the right team, the right people, culture,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is a huge part of our team.
Of course.
And not just about business, but also having a little bit of fun. We do some charity events as well, and just making sure that at least we do a good mix of building the culture, and that goes a long way throughout the year, not just about business right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Culture is very important. And having the right people around you, right? 'Cause I've been in situations before where sometimes you don't have the most positive people around you. Sometimes you don't have the most hardworking people around you. And sometimes, you kind of feed off of that, right? So
Yeah.
if they're not working hard, you may not be working hard. If they're not staying positive, you may not stay positive. So yeah, that energy, that culture around you is very important in a business like this. So
It is.
that's great. So, tell me a little bit more about like a typical day for you. What would be a normal routine, weekday routine? Because I know weekends can be very different with clients and
Yeah.
timing. But what is a typical day for you?
Well, I always like to get in the office, 8 o'clock or just beforehand, making sure that I've set myself up, prepared for that day, and just being able to get on the phones, talk to prospects, talk to clients, follow up with clients about where the transaction's at, maybe any adjustments that we need to make to the property, if we've got any feedback. But getting into the office, make sure that we're on the phones, prospecting at least for 3 to 4 hours during the day, and then really set up for a good couple appointments in the afternoon, 2 to 3, and seeing who we can help out, having good conversations, being very focused on who you're speaking to and who you can really help out in the moment, and just understanding how your week goes on, being productive for the first Monday. Obviously, we set up on a Sunday. We always talk about it as a team. We don't start our day on the Monday. It's always prepared for on the Sunday.
Right.
So we've already got all our our appointments, or at least should be appointments, set up on the Monday. Calendars filled out. We know who we're supposed to be talking to, finding new business. having team meetings as well. But generally, it's a prospect from 8 to 12 in the morning, set the appointments for the afternoon, show homes, creating social media content too is a big priority. It's not the first, but it is one of those that I feel as the industry goes on, social media content is going to be one of those that helps build each individual brands, and not just individual, but teams too. So that's my day.
Yeah, that's a very interesting day. And Travis, you do lead the front by making sure you're in the office early. He's always the first one to be in. So he creates that competitiveness among the team. So I really appreciate that about you, man.
Thank you.
I know you've been doing some role playing now prior to getting in the office. So you role play with multiple different agents, right? Different agents around the valley here, outside of the state. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think that's nothing that I knew beforehand until we go to certain conventions like Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, and just being an understanding. Hey, we need to know how to talk to these prospects a lot better, and not just sound like a robot. As realtors or real estate agents, we're not all the same, and some people put us all in the same category. So the role play partners that I do have different levels of experience, different backgrounds, whether it's a new construction, that maybe have to change the way or the verbiage that they use to somebody coming and buying a new property or new construction property or a new build. But then those that have little experience that are still learning, such as myself. So it's good to kind of hear the differences in language, verbiage that they're using, and the wealth of knowledge that those that have 10, 15, 20 plus years of talking to prospects and having the skill down of focusing on either a frustrated seller, if you will, because that's who we mainly deal with, but frustrated seller, and now understanding, putting yourself in their shoes as to what they want next. Hey, what did the previous situation look like? How can we help you for the next step? So.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I hear you role play, so I've seen the transition. And by the way, what we role play are scripts, when working with a seller, working with a buyer, negotiating for our clients, meeting new folks that want to get educated on how to purchase a property, become a homeowner. That's what we're typically role playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard you, I see a big difference. And I agree. Sometimes it works out to talk to people with different personalities. You can kind of get an idea of bounce ideas off each other as well. Because not necessarily everyone's gonna be a fan of us.
No,
So
they're not.
We have to.
And that phone is heavy in the morning, right?
Oh,
Some
very.
days it's super heavy. It's like 500 pounds. You can hardly pick it up. And just understanding how we need to talk to somebody, but not just our tone and the questions that we ask, but just being able to, to at least have a great conversation, build that rapport, and that just really helps with the role playing side of it. So it's a key point, and just helps the fluidity of the conversation go on, and not have to think about, hey, you're going to stumble over the phone and you're going to put a prospect off for a client, but you're also going to make sure that you have a good conversation.
Yeah, they always help me get warmed up for the day, right? You get a couple conversations with someone you're comfortable with. I know you're my role play partners for Monday morning, so of course Monday's always being kind of, the heaviest day to get up and struggle a little bit. I do enjoy, getting on the phone with you on my way to the office, kind of loosening up a little bit, having fun, recapping on the weekend. So that's always fun. Travis, I do want to learn a little bit more about how you get leads, or what is it that you do. So I know you pick up the phone and you prospect. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so prospecting or over the phone is the number one, or the first way, especially with recently or on the day of expireds, withdrawns. That would be the first way that I go to, whether it's then looking at social media, maybe reaching out to local businesses. Open houses is a big priority for me this year. I feel like that face-to-face time with the market slowed down, and there may be been a little bit of hesitation due to interest rates, but the interest rates are starting to show much more positive signs. And I feel like open houses, that face-to-face interaction, is a really good way for me to build my business, meet more people, also going on previous friends, family, or at least previous people that I'd worked with in other industries, going on those appointments on a weekly basis, just keeping them up to date, at the very least having a cup of coffee It doesn't even have to be about real estate, but I'm just wondering what's going on in their life, and that's the way you keep those relationships. So that's another way of finding clients and being productive.
Right. We're in the people business, right? So we have to get out there, talk, see what's going on in everyone's life. So that's awesome, man. That's a good pillar to bring in business. I know through the team, we do a lot of Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry events, which are huge real estate coaches here. Nationwide, internationally, actually. So I know you brought that up a little earlier. Can you give me maybe just a quick detail about your thoughts on either side?
Yeah, I think two very different perspectives from both Mike and Tom Ferry. One is staying with the basics, calling, door knocking, the foundations of probably what initially had built the real estate industry, and now taking that grasp that we have, and I think we do it very well as a team, having those foundations, but implementing social media and social contact on all the different types of platforms that we have, and building a brand helps people find you online, right? If somebody's going to look up you will Google your name, or at least try to find some background on you. There's no other way besides Googling it. So if you have those good social media platforms with reviews, people that are following you, that love on you every day, and just making sure that, hey, this is a good person to refer business to, and they keep me up to date. But between Mike and Tom, two different ways of generating business. One is more, I would say, online based for Tom. The other one is more foundational, in person, or at least door knocking and cold calling on the phone. So, but I think we do the best of both worlds in our team.
Yeah, that's why I appreciate the Mac team. We kind of lean on both sides and just make it our own. So that's very powerful. And Travis, I do want to give you a shout out. I know you recently became a father, so I wanted to give a shout out to Lydia at home and Kendra at home, the family. We really appreciate it. And tell me a little bit about that. How's the dad life been, and with business, and now you're up very different hours of the day?
Yeah, so very different. Now it's not about us at the moment, and I've got an amazing wife, and now we've got an amazing daughter, and slight adjustment to the schedule, right? And even it's not about the daily schedule, really. It's trying to make sure that we figure out the nightly schedule so that at least I'm productive for the next day. I've got a job to do the next day, but paying attention to my daughter now as well, and making sure I'm helping my wife with the process too, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of maintenance, and it takes a little bit to kind of get used to, especially that first month that we had, which she was born in December, and throughout, middle of January, it was a figuring out situation, but now we're in a much better routine. So
that's awesome, man. I'm very happy for you guys. Happy for the family. I know a lot of things could come up and change, so I'm happy about that. And I really appreciate you joining me today. We have a lot of good feedback for any people looking to get licensed, any new agents, any agents that have been in the business solo and are considering a team, or vice versa. So I hope we have provided a lot of good information for you guys. If you guys want to talk to Travis directly, please, he's available through text, social media. You guys can always contact John, the team leader, as well. I really appreciate your time. I want to take a moment to wrap this up and thank our guests at home. Thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe. Let us know, any feedback. Drop a comment. Send a smoke signal. I don't know, but let us know. But thank you so much for being here, man.
Yeah, awesome to be on and share some information. And I'm still learning, so it's a work in progress.
Hey, we're gonna get out there. It's gonna be a great year. Thank you guys for joining Running Vegas podcast.